Thank you. Try to add a few more words of wisdom to Superintendent Pfeffer and to Trustee Rutka's comments to you. I'd like to begin by saying and extending my congratulations and best wishes to the class of 2012 and to your families and friends. I'd like to also express my sincere thanks to Mr. Caruana, Ms. McMullen, Ms. Liu, and of course to our students who helped us bring this celebration together on this very special afternoon. So thank you very much. As I look around the auditorium and as we prepared for the ceremony, it's clear that there's a distinct feeling of celebration in the air, and why not? There's much to celebrate. Graduates, you over the last 4 to 5 years have shown persistence, dedication, and hard work. And as I look around the auditorium, I see faces of happiness and pride. I know that your years here at Earl Haig, all of you in your own way, have contributed to the reputation of this great school in so many positive ways, academically, artistically, and athletically. Most of you have spent 4 to 5 years of your academic career at Earl Haig, and that's a good chunk of time, especially when you think that the high school years is one of the periods in the human lifespan where an individual undergoes some significant changes. The only other period these changes are so drastic are between birth and the age of 2. So therefore, this school, your teachers, and your peers have had a significant impact on your life. Understanding this, we are certain that we have provided you with the academic and intellectual preparation for higher education, along with the skills needed to establish positive relationships, good habits, and attitudes. And here you are today, ready to close this very important chapter of your life. So what can I say to you that will be meaningful and that will mark this event? Let me say that the preparation of this message has taken much thought, and I confess that as I sat at the kitchen table trying to come up with ideas for a meaningful commencement address, I was a bit taken by surprise when I found myself hit with writer's block. This was somewhat of an unusual thing since I've written at least 9 commencement addresses in the past, and I've never had this difficulty before. I went into a little bit of a panic mode as I thought about some of my options. Do I take one of my favorite commencement speeches that I've previously written, given and use maybe parts of it? No, that wouldn't do, since every graduating class is different and of course deserves new ideas. Do I give it a bit more time and come back to it later on in the week? No, that won't do, since it would be cutting it too close to the deadline, and I don't like the feeling of being pressured or getting things done, especially when they require some thought and are so important. I thought for a while longer, and I decided I would keep plugging away when my older daughter walked in, and as she made her way to the refrigerator, she smiled and said, "It's nice to see you doing homework, Mom." "When is the essay due?" she asked jokingly, "and did you leave yourself enough time?" And I said yes, I'd left myself enough time, and it wasn't due for another 2 weeks, so I had plenty of time. As she munched away at the snack, I thought to myself, perhaps asking her to assist might dislodge the logjam I felt in my head. So I asked the question, what do you think you would have liked to have heard at your grade 12 graduation last year? Of course, my eldest graduated last year and just completed her first year of university, so what better source of fresh information could I possibly find? She smiled for a moment and then said, "I think they know that the time spent on other stuff outside of academics was just as important as getting good marks. That their participation in things like sports teams, working on the yearbook, the school play, or just hanging out with friends was important. That this kind of participation teaches you things that you can't get from sitting in the classroom." She continued and added, "Looking back, I think I would have liked to have heard that you should not be afraid to try things that perhaps are not perfectly planned, and that it's okay if you're going in one direction and then decide to change course. That sometimes you don't do things because you're afraid of how others will react, but you should try hard to listen to what you think you should do. I I think you should also tell them that it doesn't really matter if it seems as though everyone else seems to know what they're going to do with their lives, because it's never too late to really discover who you are, what you enjoy doing, and what you're good at. I would have also liked to have heard that it's not a race and that you should take your time and explore your options. As the conversation continued, she included, tell them that there's lots going on in your life after high school. Expect to feel a bit overwhelmed at times, but know that you're not alone, and that many of your friends are feeling the same way too, and that's when friends and family really come in handy. Getting your parents to do your laundry and care packages every once in a while really helps too. Just at that time, my younger daughter came into the kitchen and wanted to know what we were doing. After a short filling in, she jumped in with her opinion of what the message should be. And she simply said, tell them to YOLO. So I said, YOLO, I said? YOLO, she replied. I'm sure I don't have to explain what this means to our students, but for the adults in the room, YOLO means you only live once. She continued and said that I should tell the graduates that they should do what they've always wanted to do and not wait. She said, like me, I want to skydive or get a few more dogs and wear clothes that don't match because you only live once. The conversation carried on as my older daughter finished her snack. She added, just tell them they shouldn't worry about next year, that most things work out and that the year flies by really quickly. But if they don't learn anything else, they should learn to have a bit of self-discipline. It doesn't take a lot, but just enough to be able to get you by when you need it. Tell them that they need just enough self-discipline to get by when they really, really need it. So I said, so how much is that? She said, about the quantity of self-discipline needed to probably equal the amount of that you might need to kind of fulfill a regular exercise program. Don't aim for too much more of that. At this point, my younger daughter didn't want to feel left out in terms of her contributions, so she said, I wouldn't worry too much about your speech, Mom, since I don't think everyone will be paying attention. And I'm not sure they'll all be listening. They're probably thinking about other things. I thought about this comment for a moment and realized that she may be entirely correct. That this day was not about the commencement address, that it was about you, our graduates, and of course, you may be immersed deeply in this moment and the memories of how you got here. You may be soaking in the celebration, and if you are not listening to my every word, please know that I'm not offended, because this is your moment, and it makes entirely good sense that it should remain yours. My daughters left at this point, and I returned to the commencement address, looked at my previous attempts at my writing and pressed the delete button and started writing on a brand new page, armed with all kinds of ideas in my head, including making sure that I captured the highlights of our conversation and ensuring that somewhere in this message I cited the authors of these ideas so I wasn't accused of plagiarism. So what can I leave you with? Perhaps a few simple words of advice that simply say that you have all done the prep work that has resulted in the successful completion of high school. And for most of you, you've done well and have been accepted into the university and college of your choice. So enjoy your hard work while continuing to lay the foundations of continued future success. Take advantage of the support that your friends and family have provided and will continue to provide, and have fun while you're learning. As Albert Einstein remarked when he was once asked the difference between his intelligence and everyone else's, he, after giving the question much thought, said, when other people go looking for a needle in a haystack and find it, they stop looking. I keep looking for a second, third, fourth, and fifth needle. Graduates of the class of 2012, on behalf of the staff of Earl Haig, we wish you much happiness and future success. We encourage you to come back and visit, because once a Hager, always a Hager. And we hope you will continue to find those numerous needles that can be found in one haystack. Congratulations.